Some things fit into the natural outdoors, and one of them is Minute Maid.
I think this is the perfect setting for delicious Minute Maid orange juice. Minute Maid belongs here because it's good and natural like the great outdoors. Minute Maid is 100% orange juice. And boy, does it taste good. Olé! Rip! A rim shot. Crosby clan always drinks Minute Maid at home, wherever home happens to be. You know it's delicious. It's Minute Maid.
Gonna start the day the right way, the old way, to get up and go away. Gonna have a bowl of limos. Gonna get a powerful good feeling from Cheerios.
Start your day with Cheerios, protein-rich cereal made from oats. Oats have more protein than wheat, rice, or corn.
So get up and go with Cheerios.
University officials' decision to veto a plan for such a show. The ACLU and the University of Michigan student government brought the court action. After today's ruling, Channel 4 reporter John Marshal talked with the president of the U of M Student Council.
Do you have any reason to believe there will still be some form of a peace demonstration despite today's ruling?
I know there will be.
How? What?
There's a coalition here in Los Angeles, of which Michigan is a part, along with Stanford, the Free Angela Davis Committee, Peace Action Council, and the Vietnam Veterans, of which we're going to be demonstrations around racism both here and abroad, in terms of the bombing that's going on in Vietnam and killing Vietnamese people while our people are coming back, and the fact the war isn't ending, and also around the fact that people of color here are killed and denied their civil liberties and their right to live a decent life every day. So there will be demonstrations.
What form will the demonstrations take?
Most probably, as I see it right now, a march of some kind.
Despite all of the threats of demonstrations, however, people are already lining the streets in Pasadena tonight. They're hoping to get the best seats for tomorrow's big show. Many came prepared for the long, cold night ahead, and in one way or another, the time is passed away. At this time of the year, pundits, politicians, prophets of all kind talk about the past and the ominous implications for the future. Well, the hour is much too late for that kind of exercise, so I reduce my particular analysis of this past and its meaning to the future to this: we can do better, and we'd better. Happy New Year, everyone, from everyone here at KNBC News. That is the news for this year. I'm Tom Brokaw for Ross Porter and Kelly Lang. The Johnny Carson Tonight Show with a special New Year's Eve program is next.
The following program is brought to you in living color on NBC.
He'll get out of there.
From New York, The Tonight Show, starring Johnny Carson. This is Ed McMahon, along with Doc Severinsen of the NBC Orchestra, inviting you to join Johnny and his guests, Shecky Green, Rosemarie, Rick Daniels, and Nat and Dee. The Tonight Show for New Year's Eve is brought to you by the Thomas J. Lipton, makers of some of America's favorite products. Please look for them. And now, here's Johnny.
the chocolate crispies and caramel, caramel. You make my mouth so happy, caramel.
Representing each of the 50 states under the direction of Paul Laval, McDonald's All-American High School Band. 2 musicians from each state in the Union.
By Libby McNeil Company is their first entry in the Rose Parade, and it salutes Great Day in a spectacular animated sunburst that salutes Vincent Youmans' famous 1929 melody. 39 conical rays of rose orchid and carnation petals revolve simultaneously to create the radiating patterns of sunlight. This is one of the most difficult animation systems ever presented in the parade, and really it's a rousing success. You can almost feel the sun's rays. Silver luminaria and vanda orchids are used to create a realistic shimmer on the undersides of the clouds, brightening the entire scene, saying, don't rain on my parade. The base section of the float is covered with patterns of roses and orchids that correspond with the color changes of the revolving rays above.
Here's the largest American flag ever produced in live flowers. We all agree with Montebello, you're a grand old flag. Miss Montebello and her court are riding here on this float. There she is. This young lady is Laurie Dole. She is 6 feet 3 inches tall. And for those of you who are interested in this sort of thing, she's 40, 27, 40. There's a nice shot of the flag. Governors of every state in the Union have donated one white blossom, which they sent from their respective capitals to be a part of this floral feat. In fact, some of the governors who were here in Pasadena actually went down to the building where the float was assembled to place the flower for their state on the float themselves, which I thought was a nice touch. The eyes of Texas are upon us, I hope, because here are 170 musicians from Houston, Texas. This is the Spring Branch Senior High School Band. Let's listen. These 50 girls you see now make up what they call the Bruin Brigade. Look at them, and they have 5.5 miles to go. Another figure that, other than this one, that you might be interested in. It is estimated that the horses, the equipment, and the costumes in this Rose Parade exceed $3.5 million.
That
is a great deal of
money. More than you make in the morning on Further Consequences, isn't it?
Yeah, great song. Look at the shadows there. We have nothing but beautiful sunshine here. But even if the temperature does get into the 70s, it won't be the warmest January 1st. In 1917, I believe it was 86 degrees during the Rose Parade.
I wasn't here. Calgary, in the province of Alberta, Canada, has a great event of their own, the Calgary Stampede. And in honor of that, what else but a giant, richly tooled Western saddle and wagon wheels. You can see the initials on the side there, CES, and that stands for Calgary Exposition Stampede. Covered with bronze and rust chrysanthemums, this saddle is magnificent indeed. Maybe it was meant for the giant wooden Trojan horse. It's so big. And the chuck wagons, replicas of the type which are used in the races during the Calgary Stampede, seem to be driven right out from under the huge saddle. They're flowered with Hawaiian tea leaves and iceberg chrysanthemums, and they give the great effect of a stampede. Calgary's 8th consecutive entry in the parade, representing the greatest outdoor show on earth, here at the greatest floral parade in the world. That's an attractive float.
It sure is. Great detail on it, too. The Minnesota Metro Tourist Council honors the Twin Cities of Minneapolis-St. Paul with a floral rendition of Somewhere Over the Rainbow. The late Judy Garland was a native of Minnesota, and a multi-flowered rainbow in her honor sweeps up the front of the float, clear over and down the back. These people represent the Minneapolis Aquatennial and the St. Paul Winter Carnival.
Every year, tens of thousands of people send in theme suggestions for the Rose Parade.
A final decision, though, is made by the president of the tournament.
And this year's theme, The Joy of Music, is a special treat because so many floats have incorporated songs into their design. And we'll hear and see more.
Hard to believe, isn't it? Today, even with the world's greatest variety of foods, almost half of us have diets deficient in some vitamins or minerals because we don't always eat right. We snack more and can't be sure what vitamins we're getting. Well, here's a way to be sure. One-A-Day brand multiple vitamins. One-A-Day gives your family all the vitamins they normally need to take for just pennies a day. One-A-Day, the most trusted, most taken vitamins in the world.
Playing with yarn is stupid, but cat owners expect it. Part of the image.
How about some din-din?
They also expect you to be finicky. Watch me be finicky.
Some 9 lives, dear?
Uh-oh.
Chicken, liver, tuna.
Tuna? Wow. Rich red tuna meat.
9 lives, the nutritious foods cats really like, even Morris.
Dear Diary, today I was not finicky.
Magnificent in bright royal blue outfits, 100 young bandsmen from Plattsmouth, Nebraska. It's the Plattsmouth High School Band. And one of the Tournament of Roses committees had told me that this group had practiced marching 2.5 miles every day. But he didn't tell me how many days they've done it. So we may have some very tired kids right down here. They don't sound it, though.
Of a community has brought us a very pretty entry, which is a jewel box. The entry is called Only a Rose. It's a very professional looking entry and one that the local citizens of Sierra Madre can be justly proud of. The jewel box.
3 o'clock in the morning, the National Exchange Club says there are some people who appreciate the joy of music at that hour and some who don't. Now, here's a tomcat, and he's just looking about very calmly, and he's strumming his mandolin there on the ash can, you see. And back here, despite the hour, this prim little pussycat is very responsive. She's turning her head, she raises her eyelids. Look at her swish her tail about there. She knows good music when she hears it. But in the back, the joy of music isn't shared by this guy. He's leaning out the window, and he's very unappreciative. He's saying, after all, it is 3 o'clock in the morning. Unlike some of the floats, the driver has a very good view from this one.
Top hat, white tie, and tails making their 22nd appearance, the professional musicians of the Mutual Savings and Loan Toppers Band. Let's listen to them. Symbolic of around-the-clock efforts of the medical profession, the American Hospital Association presents Night and Day and their unceasing efforts to heal the sick and wounded. The front circle shows two pictures of a hospital revolving around in a night and day scene, as work inside a hospital never stops. It's decorated in yellow and gold chrysanthemums and white glad petals. And in the middle, a giant clock with hands going round and round of black onion seeds. And the rear circle, tri-vision pictures that change constantly as the float moves down the parade route. A mother and child, a nurse with a child. The nurse is caring for the child in the bed there. There's doctors, there's the mother and child. All done in flowers. And one final one, there's a doctor's in the surgery room. It's beautiful. Now you can see there, the doctors in surgery. Oh, that's very clever.
Celebrating 60 years of human service, the telephone pioneers of America, in their first visit to the Rose Parade, present a floral interpretation of the song, People. We're moving right in here on a mobile, which they have in the center of the float. This is the 60th anniversary symbol of the service organization. It's the world's largest voluntary organization. It was founded to promote continuing friendship and to carry on the ideals and traditions of the industry.
The cost of these floats is tremendous, and you have to consider, Bob, that the flowers, the engineering, the designer's time, and also the labor.
Yes, it's quite impressive. And also, it's quite unique. There's nothing quite like the Tournament of Roses Parade in the world, and there's still more to come.
Oh, boy.
Rough day, dear.
Oh, the guys had me in front of those hot lights saying...
I know. Great!
Please, dear. Well, beats running around the jungle all day.
Your Kellogg Sugar Frosted Flakes cereal, dear?
Yeah, something light and sweet before sack time.
You really enjoy that secret toasted in frosting.
Yeah, and 8 important vitamins.
Mother called today.
Oh?
She's coming to visit.
Well, stock up on the Kellogg Sugar Frosted Flakes and make up the cage in the guest room.
High C is fun. Good fun.
High C is good fun.
High C has a delicious fruit taste and vitamin C. High C is good fun. And High C has vitamin C in every delicious flavor. High C is good fun.
High C is good fun.
Well, this is the Mayor's Award for the best display of originality in the parade. It's the Cal Poly College float, Swamp Rhythm, a hip-swinging, ear-flapping, eye-rolling lavender hippo that swings through town to the music of Swamp Rhythm. It's a really great color for a hippo. Shades of burgundy, rose, peach, and pink mums. And the source of all the music is a monkey, which you will see when he opens his mouth. And there's a tick bird on his behind. The monkey up front is playing a xylophone. Every time the mouth opens, you can see that he's beating on the drums. The bird's in a safe place, far from the hippo's mouth. There's the monkey playing the teeth. It's got a big round of applause from the audience as it came by. You know, since 1928, all 23 entries from Cal Poly have won awards.
And those of you who know the Rose Parade have been waiting for this one. This is the grand prize winner for the most beautiful commercial entry in the parade. The Florists Trans-World Delivery Association presents a psychedelic, free-form entry depicting the song of astrology, Aquarius, a rousing tribute to a glorious age. This has an awful lot on it, all of which we'll show you. Here's the solar system. That's the sun. The 9 planets are revolving around the solar system. I'm not sure it's the attraction of the sun that keeps them there. I think the float designer had something to do with it. That's at the rear of the float. Now up here at the center, this is Aquarius, the water bear, holding a vase of pink gladiolas, carnation petals. That was real water being poured there. Now watch for your sign. They have all the signs of the zodiac here. Resplendent in psychedelic colors. That's the
And on
Three
the
Dog
front?
Night right there in front.
4 members of the
I
Aquarium
think
stage.
Sagittarius is right up here. I was watching this show floating in a building and I found my own sign. Take a good look at this entry because FTD is running a national consumers contest to guess the number of flowers used to decorate the float. Winners will be brought to next year's Rose Parade, all expenses paid. I'll give you a hint. There are a lot of flowers on that float.
Representing the city of Los Angeles, the high-stepping music of the Alain Leroy Locke High School Saints Marching Band. Oh, they come on strong, don't they? 144 members. Played at the Rams halftime recently. They were in the 1970 Rose Parade, too. I remember them. Shapes in basic white provide a startling setting for the sun colors of September, and the Queen and the city of Los Angeles combine to form September Song, the City of the Angels' way of welcoming in the new year. The Queen rides beside a bouquet of sycamore leaves, Woburn Abbey and Mustang roses. Those cantilevered floral arrangements that you see weigh in excess of 1,000 pounds each. It's really an engineering feat. Many of the entries this year seem to have adapted the free-form design. It works very well, as we can see here. Beautiful September Song, and this certainly portrays the feel of autumn. 40-foot float. It's the city of Los Angeles' 61st entry. Had the first one in 1906.
Here's Richard Salco, the famous Tommy Trojan of USC football games. He's riding his 13th parade on Tennessee Walker, a Tennessee Walker named Traveler II.
Muscles ripple on those horses.
The Joy of Music theme wouldn't really be complete now without the most frequently sung song in the world. Happy birthday to you. The Bakery and Confectionery Workers Union says it's sung about 4,000 times a day, and I would believe that. Look at that birthday cake. There are a lot of calories there, June.
Yes, there are.
And here we have the pinwheels, you see. Each pinwheel is individually driven by an electric motor. They're made of pom-poms, gladiola petals, and carnations. There's a nice shot of one. There's 6 of them up there on the top of the float. Those are party streamers that you see around them. Flames, that's a pinwheel there. Riding in the party are Kim Richards, Trent Lehman, and David Dormus from TV's Nanny and the Professor.
That's fun.
Yes, it is. I think it's very appropriate for them, too. Happy birthday to you. Here's a band from the hometown of our president. It's the Cavalier Elks Youth Band, and of course from Whittier, California. Now, as you listen to this band, if you're wondering how we hear them so well, we have 3 shotgun microphones down on the street. They're handheld, and our CBS men are taking them right up there. So let's hear what the band has to do.
time. Oh, you're gonna have a hamburger?
Get her a cheeseburger.
She's got a sandwich. Okay, let's see if I got it all. One cheeseburger. No, two. No, that's one cheeseburger and a Big Mac. French fries and a Coke. Hamburger, French fries, and a chocolate shake. A cheeseburger, French fries, and a strawberry shake. A fish sandwich, French fries, and an orange drink. Boy, is this going to cost a lot.
If you've never been to McDonald's, you might be surprised to find that you can actually feed a family of 4 for under $4.
Sir, your change.
You deserve a break today.
Thank you.
Get away to McDonald's.
Coming up next, right after this parade. We'll be right back.
We're back visiting with Mr. Bernie Hillen, president of FTD, Florists Trans World Delivery. Bernie, isn't this exciting?
It always is, June. And of course, this year's theme was really wide open.
Well, let's look again at FTD's brilliant float. Thousands of roses set the stage for FTD's beautiful float entitled Aquarius, a zodiac sign for peace, happiness, and love. Oh, just fabulous. How did you decide on an Aquarius theme?
Well, June, we felt the happiness of Aquarius says exactly what FTD florists are really all about. Happiness is something we design into every arrangement, like this forget-me-not bouquet. Its only purpose is to bring happiness, provided, of course, a man remembers to send it. Now, that can be a problem.
A problem that Louis Jourdan will help solve, as we're about to see.
Gentlemen, would you like to join a women's club? It's a sort of a club, a forget-me-not club. You remember the women on their birthdays, and they remember you. And FTD florists will help you. They will send them beautiful birthday flowers like these, the forget-me-not bouquet. But remember, they get the forget-me-not bouquet only through FTD florists, and you get some very happy birthday girls.
Well, Bernie, this is really lovely, but will the arrangement I'm sending look as beautiful?
Yes, certainly. FTD florists are the best. They have to be to become members and to remain members, because we check periodically to see that their high quality meets our standards.
So that you can be sure the quality you see here will be in every arrangement no matter where you send it.
That's what FTD is all about, June.
Oh. Well, thanks so much for joining us. It's been a pleasure.
It's been just great being here, June.
Mr. Bernie Hillen, president of FTD, Florists Trans World Delivery.
Well, there's the crowd now leaving the site of the 1972 Rose Bowl or Rose Parade here in Pasadena. These floats they've seen, the average cost has been $16,000, but they've been as expensive as $35,000, and I thought you might be interested in knowing about our judges and how they work. One judge is Hobart Lewis. He is president, editor-in-chief, and executive officer of Reader's Digest.
You know how hair looks after shampooing? Well, this Protein 29 hair groom puts back the control that shampooing takes out. You know what? It works. You just put it on your hair while it's wet, then comb. Takes out tangles, makes combing easier. And it grooms not just on top, but way down. So when your hair dries, it's under control. Protein 29 hair groom. You know, this stuff is really different from all those other hairsprays.
Once upon a time, a long time ago, two musicians drove in to buy some spark plugs. So being a good mechanic, and feared for my life, I put in Autolite Power Tip spark plugs. You see, Autolite wants its spark plugs to be the very best. So they make their Power Tip plugs with solid nickel chrome electrodes to make them last and last. Be a long time before I see those two again, because Autolite spark plugs last and last and last and last.
Well, as we've said, the parade really does get better every year. You'd think there'd be absolutely no room for improvement.
But every year, someone comes up with new ideas and innovations.
That's right, and before this parade is over, the thoughts of the tournament are directed toward next year, and now they have 83 tournament parades behind them.
And all that experience is really vital. This is a terribly complicated event, and there's a lot to think of. Picking the theme, deciding on the entries, supervising the design of the floats, the construction, the publicity, and just coordinating such a mammoth array of people, horses, and giant floats.
Just the timing alone is difficult. All units should march at 2.5 miles an hour, and it is really amazing how close they keep to that pace for the 5.5-mile route.
It's a labor of love for all those involved, too, right down to the young volunteers who spend the final hours pasting literally petal by petal the millions of flowers that cover the floats.
And that's the end of the 83rd Annual Tournament of Roses Parade, the joy of music.
59 magnificent flower-covered floats, 23 of the best bands in the land, and 250 champion horses.
For those last units, there's still a march of 5.5 miles to go. And a special treat for those who are here is the fact that the floats will remain in Victory Park for 2 days, giving everyone a chance to see them up close.
As always, the memory of today remains with us throughout the year, and we're still awed by the beauty of this spectacular event.
For the tens of thousands of people who travel here from all over the country and all over the world, this has been a joyous start of the new year.
We want to thank the many people who worked so hard all year long to make such an enduring and successful event.
That includes the association members, the float builders, and the volunteers who worked on floats as a community effort.
Thank you all very, very much. This is June Lockhart saying Happy New Year to you all.
And this is Bob Barker adding the same thing. I hope 72 is the best year ever for you.
Bye-bye, and thank you. See you next.
The 83rd Annual Tournament of Roses Parade from Pasadena, California, with June Lockhart and Bob Barker, was telecast to Puerto Rico and coast to coast in the United States and Canada. It was brought to you by Florists Trans-World Delivery and over 12,500 FTD florists serving the United States and Canada. And by Kellogg's, the best to you each morning from Kellogg's. And by the makers of Minute Maid. This is Vern Bennett thanking you for joining us, and from all of us to all of you, a most Happy New Year.
Good music, good fun. The name says it all on the Sonny and Cher Comedy Hour this Monday with special guests Dinah Shore and Tony Curtis. That's at 10 on CBS.
KNBC Los Angeles. Some portions of this program brought to you in living color on NBC were pre-recorded. Welcome to Pasadena, California, for NBC's New Year's presentation of one of America's great spectacles, the 85th Annual Tournament of Roses Parade, brought to you by Kellogg, because your best days start with breakfast. Here now, your host for the 1974 Rose Parade, John Davidson, star of NBC's Girl with Something Extra, Rebecca Ann King, this year's reigning Miss America, and everyone's favorite from The Tonight Show, Ed McMahon.
Good morning. This is Ed McMahon greeting you from Parade Center. And the top of the morning to you, Becky King.
That's
Rebecca
right,
Ann,
no
all
Rebecca.
right?
Good morning, Ed. May I be one of the first ones to wish you a very happy New
Sure
Year?
may. This has been a delightful year for you. Last year you were named Miss America for 1974 officially, and it's been, I guess, very hectic for you.
It's been very exciting.
I
It's
could
a
guess
bit
so.
unreal, you know.
For the rest of us, 1973, well, we sort of survived it. For a while there, I wasn't too sure. But now it is the first day of a brand new year, 1974.
And we've got a wonderful holiday treat for you to welcome it in. The dazzling Parade of Parades.
Yeah.
The 85th Annual Tournament of Roses.
And you know, we've got a great day. It was raining very hard at midnight, but it's cleared up beautifully in Pasadena. And the only thing missing from our day so far is one John Davidson. Now, where is he?
I'm sure he'll be here. I know he wouldn't miss the parade.
You know, there was a lot of bets around the Johnny Carson show that I was going to miss this parade. But you see, I'm here, folks. Bright of eyes, strong of voice, and ready to go. We'll see. Wait a minute.
Hey, he said he'd get here on time.
Wait a minute. I hear something. Oh.
No.
Do you believe this? What a grandstand play that is.
That's
that son of a gun had to do that.
He did it again.
Right.
I could just sit around making music all night long. Just as long as I'm making music, I know I can't do nobody wrong. Who knows, maybe someday I'll come up with a song that makes people want to stop the fussing and the fighting long enough to sing along. I believe in music. I believe in love. I believe in music. I believe in love. Yeah, music is love. Love is music, if you know what I mean. The people that believe in music are the happiest people I've ever seen. So clap your hands, stomp your feet, shake that tambourine, and lift your voices up into the sky. God loves you when you sing. I believe in music. Say
Okay, very good, John. Now, that's what you call opening a show. Never trust an actor who also sings.
I thought he was super.
He was, and what a great audience to have here. You know, the streets are really packed. They've been here all night. And while John is working his way up here, we might point that out. This is a special year for Pasadena.
It is that. It's Pasadena's 100th birthday.
We'd like to show you a little of what Pasadena looked like in those early days and what she looks like today. Now, the first home in Pasadena was built in 1874. After the San Gabriel Orange Grove Association made its first division of land. The town was to grow quickly from its early days. In 10 years, the corner of Colorado and Fair Oaks was a busy center. The railroad had come, and Barney Williams had opened his country store, which was to be the meeting place for the settlers of the colony. And here by 1890, Pasadena's streets were already alive with activity and promise. And of course, things in Pasadena are even a little busier today. Now, in spite of the serenity of the earlier world, that can be felt in the graceful architecture of City Hall, Pasadena is a city of the future as well as the past. Down below is the Pasadena Center and the Civic Auditorium, which is the hub of cultural life. The city also has a fine museum of art. And Pasadena City's College, its graduates may someday aim to work in such nearby industries as aerospace and communications. Of course, a dream of many young people around the country is to be able to come for just one day of employment at the world-famous item of Pasadena architecture and the pride that's built in 1922. There it is,
The Rose Bowl. It's
itself.
certainly going to look a lot different this afternoon.
Yes, it is.
I think so.
There he is. Good morning, John.
Hey, good morning.
Happy New Year, pal.
I'll put my little ear thing on here. Boy, I'm sorry to be late. I had quite trouble getting up through the crowd. Those ladies grabbed that shit to come through like
You know, they do. You know, these people have been camped out here all night, in the rain, many of them, waiting for this parade to start.
Well, you know, Ed, we should be just about ready now. And I think we should tell everybody that our theme this year is kind of an open-ended one. It's called Happiness Is. And it was inspired by the choice of our 1974 Grand Marshal, Charles M. Schulz, who, of course, created Charlie Brown and the whole Peanuts gang,
Sure.
right?
It's great.
In fact, you'll see them all in a huge float that's one of our first entries today. So in just 1 minute, Ed and Becky and I will be back for the start of the 85th Annual Tournament of Roses.
The next float celebrates 1974, the Year of the Tiger.
And I'm the Tiger of the Year.
This is the year of the tiger, so have breakfast with the tiger of the year. Make it nourishing and tasty, crisp and lots of fun.
Start with Kellogg Sugar Frosted Flakes. That's the one. It's secret toasted in frosting and 8 essential vitamins and iron make for nutrition that tastes good. I just love these little unrehearsed demonstrations.
Great lunch, Barbara.
Thank you.
How'd you find time? Come on, I'll show you. My Amana radar range microwave oven. It cooks most everything in about 1/4 the time, so you use less electricity. And with this radar range browning skillet, you can brown and grill right in your radar range. And you don't waste energy heating an oven. In a radar range, only the food gets hot. The oven stays cool. It's a lifesaver for busy people. But remember, if it doesn't say Amana, it's not a radar range.
We are back and ready for the start of this most exciting and event-filled morning. There's the first of it right back there. The Long Beach Mounted Police. They've been riding at the forefront of this parade for 27 years. And they ride a posse of 26 matched palominos. This posse's been in many famous parades, by the way, gang, including the inaugural parade of President Eisenhower, parades in Hawaii, Calgary, Canada, Mexico City, and Brazil. Beautiful horses, John. That's your favorite, I know.
Oh, yeah. I love a nice Palomino. Arabian is what I actually breed and raise, and that's
you like all horses.
I like all horses, and Palominos especially. We'll talk later, I guess, about the saddles and the equipment. Leading off the array of outstanding bands featured in this year's parade comes an encore from one of last year's great successes, the City of Winnipeg, their massed pipe band. Dressed in authentic tartan kilts, these musicians ranging in age from 16 to 73 and numbering 220 members. That's the largest pipe band in the world. Let's listen for a minute. Marshal under the direction of K.A. Stubing and R.N. Bruce.
It's quite good.
I'd hate to have to pick out the directors there.
There's one of those guys out there.
And now, just coming into view, I have the exciting pleasure of announcing the first float. And here, who else could it be but our good friends Snoopy, Linus, Lucy, and there's Woodstock, and of course,
they're all there.
Charlie Brown himself, right? Certainly wouldn't have missed this parade today for anything, especially when they know that their father, Charles Schulz, the creator of Peanuts, has been picked as our Grand Marshal in this year's parade. Peanuts characters are sitting up on a giant bed of roses, which illustrates the theme Dolly Madison Cakes has chosen for this float. Happiness is a bed of roses. The float, by the way, Ed, you're going to be down there closer to him later. This one is purposely designed without the use of any special effects. There's no animation. That's to retain the simplicity and charm of Mr. Schultz's creations.
There he is.
It's a rose.
You know, later on, we're going to be talking with one of the designers and the builders of these floats, and it's interesting. We've all been studying, doing our homework for the last 3 or 4 days, how these things are made. We're going to go into it a little more in detail this year, Becky and John.
Something else. They work very hard.
One thing to keep in mind as we watch the floats are some of the rules for their that they have to maintain. They all have to have a backup fuel pump because of vapor logs, and a backup water system because they go so slowly they could overheat, a backup battery system, and they all must be equipped with a towing mechanism in case they should totally break down.
But no backup for old Snoopy except this fellow right here. The theme of the parade is Happiness Is. The honored place of Grand Marshal today could only belong to one man, Charles M. Schulz. And there he is right now. That's for sure.
He has.
Snoopy, Charlie Brown, and all of us in the Peanuts family, together with NBC, wish you the happiest of New Year's.
It's undoubtedly the most successful cartoon of all time. His strip is enjoyed by more than 100 million readers every day. It's translated into 19 different languages, including Chinese and Russian, and presented in more than 1,300 newspapers around the world. That, by the way, is his 17-year-old daughter, Amy. She must be awfully proud of her father today. You know, he was reluctant to be the Grand Marshal. He thought he had made no contribution, no worthwhile reason to be named Grand Marshal. Let me show you the cartoon, the Peanuts cartoon from today's paper. Show you how far we've come. It says, Linus DeLucy, what are you watching? The Rose Bows Parade from Pasadena. They have some of the most beautiful floats this year I've ever seen. Has the Grand Marshal gone by yet? Yeah, you missed him. But he wasn't anyone you ever heard of.
Oh, that's super.
Okay, the pioneer days of the Golden West are dramatically presented in Knott's Berry Farm's Happiness is California. Above the huge letters identifying the state are a number of the characters who helped build California's rich heritage. Back of the float, you can see an animated miner waving his hat around to let us know he's just found gold. There you go. And by the way, that gold dust that's swirling out of his pan is actually supporting the whole upper portion of that float. Beautiful entry. On that float, as tradition, some of the Knott's family, Virginia Knott Reef Snyder and her brother, Russell Knott.
Now we're talking. A tradition of 44 years of consecutive Rose Parade appearances has certainly earned the City of Pasadena College Lancer Band the right to be recognized as the official Tournament of Roses band. Let's listen, and I think we'll see why. Members of the Lancer Band numbering 180 march under the leadership of director Ron Hoare. This is the second year that the Honorable Donald F. Yokitis is riding in the Tournament of Roses Parade. This is kind of interesting, Ed and Becky. It's a tradition that Pasadena's mayor is an honored guest in the parade today. He and his family are acting as hosts and have with them the Honorable Stephen Juba, mayor of the city of Winnipeg, and his wife Elva. Now, he is here today as part of this year's twin centennial celebration of the sister cities, Pasadena and Winnipeg. That's quite a long ways away to be sisters, isn't it? Their appearance is also a way of thanking Mayor Juba, who was host to the president of the 85th Annual Tournament of Roses and to the mayor of Pasadena and Winnipeg this past year.
Yes. The tradition of the Rose Queen goes back to 1905 when Haley Woods became the first in the line of Rose royalty. The tradition, Joan Woodbury was the 1907 Rose Queen. She was 35 that year and first of two queens in tournament history to be married. Muriel Cowan reigned as queen with her in 1935 court. Here's the 1939 court of Queen Barbara Dugal. 30 years later, they gathered for another picture. But it only took Queen Bertelson's 1960 court 9 years to brave the camera again in identical pose.
Being a queen is really a great honor.
And here she is now. Where would any
experience.
Rose Parade be without its queen and royal court? Continuing one of the loveliest traditions in the Tournament of Roses, we now see Queen Miranda Baroni riding with her 6 princesses on a huge bouquet of roses.
Being a queen is really a great honor and a wonderful experience. Meeting a lot of very interesting people, learning a lot of things that probably take years to learn. We made up a little song to go along with the theme Happiness Is, and we'd like to sing it for you.
Happiness is a day with roses and our Grand Marshal, Snoopy's best friend. Happiness is being the rose court, riding in colors of lovely blend.
Princesses include Joyce Hawkins, Sue Carey, Cece Coolidge, Melinda Kirkpatrick, Kim Latham. Love is the theme of this float. There are 7 fountains and thousands of cascading flowers.
Some good news. This is one of our first winners. This is the grand prize winner for the most beautiful entry in the commercial class. Isn't that beautiful?
That's great. I think, you know, this is one of the first floats that we've seen with sound today. You notice that the water patterns are dancing in time with the music. Also, I think that there's perfume spilling out to the crowds in a hidden atomizer in the float. Terrific to be down there, I guess. The float is powered by a small four-cylinder engine and is run entirely by hydraulics with the controls in that basket area. You see it coming?
Yeah.
It's about 16 feet above the ground. It's lovely things. And I guess, look at the butterflies moving. It's a beautiful thing.
But right now, Becky...
Yeah, coming up soon, Castles in the Sand, the Marine Corps Band, my favorite, and a marvelous Willie the Hobo float. But right now, happiness
is...
a commercial.
Oh, we did that song.
Tree. Beautiful.
It's from the Minute Maid orange juice grove.
Hey, we can squeeze our own Minute Maid.
Oh, no. The makers of Minute Maid don't just squeeze one kind of orange and call it Minute Maid. Oh, no. What they do is combine the juices of different oranges for their very special taste.
Not too tart, not too sweet.
Always just right. And it's 100% pure.
No preservatives or additives.
If it's Minute Maid, there's no doubt about it.
Walter and I waited a long time for our own place. I was so busy the first few days, I didn't have time to meet a soul. My new Avon lady. Hey, and I thought I'd have to go looking for her. I needed everything. Shampoo and bath oil, Walter's aftershave lotion, my favorite Avon cologne.
If there's anything else, my telephone number's on the back of the brochure. And welcome to the neighborhood.
Louise, you're gonna like it here.
And we're back in our booth overlooking all the exciting happenings here at the Rose Parade 1974. Let me ask you this, Becky. What would a day at the beach be for a child if there weren't sandcastles?
I don't know.
And dreams to dream and sandcastles to build. Well, Beacon's Moving and Storage has taken this idea as a subject for this next float. But there is no common castle in the sand. For the castle scene, decorated with seashells and starfish, has come to life through the imagination of childhood. There's princesses, of course, and looking out the castle windows. Guards there stand at the front. There's the crab.
Great eyes.
Somebody's managed to drop the drawbridge on the back of a not too bright sea snail who moves his head around from side to side. Giant hermit crab. And all of it is moving and looking beautiful.
It's great.
The shell effect is made by different colors of Vanda orchids. The Vanda orchids are the smaller. They've taken different petals to make different colors.
Are those the sturdy ones, or are they the Cattleya ones that last for a long time?
Cattleya are the large ones.
That's it.
We might say that the two flowers that are put in vials are the roses and the Cattleya orchids.
Right. One of them, I know that you can't use glue on some of those. What do we have here? I think Ed. Let's see. Where's he?
Did anyone hear someone say, "Here come the Marines"? Well, Ed's almost down on the street to say hello to him, and it's the United States Marine Corps Band, to be exact. And these outstanding bandsmen, picked from bases throughout Southern California, offer a blend of musicianship and precision marching, which do honor to the dress uniforms they wear. Let's take a listen.
Edward Wilson, the president of the 85th Annual Tournament of Roses. With him in the official automobile is his wife, Mary Ellen, his sons, Scott, Robert, and Jeffrey, and his two daughters, Terry and Pamela.
The parade you are watching didn't just happen to take place. It's the result of 1,300 volunteer members of the Tournament of Roses Association who have been working 12 long months for this day. It's also the result of men and women who had the vision 85 years ago to originate a small pageant as a tribute to the community in which they lived. The annual Rose Parade has meant happiness for countless millions through the years. Today, for the Wilson family, happiness is seen.
Nothing I can say, nothing I can do. I feel so bad, yeah, I feel so blue. I got to make it right for everyone concerned. Even if it's me, if it means it's for me, what's getting bad? 'Cause I could never make you and I baby. No, I couldn't do that, girl. Only wish I did love you so. Oh, baby, so very hard to go. Hey, now, so very hard to go. Love you so. So very hard to go. Oh, I love you so.
Tied here at the Rose Bowl, 14-14, and halftime activities will continue in a moment. Right now, we pause for station identification.
Top it, Vons.
Toshiba, a great name in electronics, announces the newest in space-age progress, the new Toshiba Black Stripe 13-inch color TV. 60% more brightness and higher contrast than conventional picture tubes. One-button control, and it weighs only 33 pounds. 5 plug-in modules for easy servicing, a real energy saver. See the Toshiba Black Stripe at your local TV dealer now. Remember, Toshiba's in touch with tomorrow.
KNBC Los Angeles.
This 1974 Rose Bowl game is brought to you by Texaco and the many thousands of independent Texaco retailers and distributors in all 50 states. By your Dodge dealer, who brings you 3 cars in 1. Dart Sport Convert Triple. And by Goodyear, makers of the custom Steel Guard radial tire.